Talk Radio 105.9, the FM KMJ. Phones open in a bit at 490-2020. Chris Daniel here till 5 on the FM side, AM side, and a little bit later. Great article we found over at DustinStockton.com. It's called Women Are Not Pawns, and the author is Tiffiny Ruegner. She kind of got bent on a statement, and I completely understand why, even as a male, coming out of the mouth of Stephanie Cutter, spokeshole for the Obama campaign, the deputy campaign manager, who said about women, they're not really concerned about what's happened over the past 4 years. They really want to know what's going to happen in the next 4 years. 8 ways that's stupid, and we welcome Tiffiny Ruegner. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi, Chris. How are you doing?
Good. If you don't mind, since you spell Tiffany in an unusual way, if anybody wants to check out some of your stuff afterwards, the last, where you normally find an A, you'll find an I. It's 2 I's in Tiffany, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Just checking. Thanks, Mom and Dad, or you decided to do that?
No. That would be a feminist move.
Really?
I honor my parents, and I kept their phonetic spelling. Good. I never got a coffee mug or a pin with my name on it, needless to say.
I'll bet not. Yeah, you could be hunting for that coffee mug and that truck stop for the rest of your life.
Yes, I do like to hang around truck stops.
Of course.
Who
doesn't?
Very exciting places. Yes.
What's your favorite, Pilot or the other one?
The J.
The Flying J.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a woman of class, obviously. Nice to meet you, by the way.
Nice to meet you, too. Thanks for having me on.
So Stephanie Cutter's pretty much fulfilling the role of spokeshole here, huh?
Oh, man. You know what? It is amazing how blind these women on the left are. You know, the feminist movement is supposed to represent women who are strong.
Yes.
And over and over and over, they portray us as pawns, as weak, as mindless. And Stephanie Cutter's statement sure summed up what Obama feels about women, that we're just his pieces to move around a board because we're mindless thinkers.
What you should be paying attention to is how well he looks in a suit, how smooth he is on stage.
Well, yeah, and he's going to look that way the next 4 years, so that's all we care about.
Well, I mean, even breaking it down just into logic, if you were not concerned about these past 4 years, nothing suggests that you would be concerned about the next 4 years. Plus, I have no idea where she got that data.
She got the data based on, she was speaking to NPR. Yeah. And it was an interview, and basically they were talking about the women vote and what are you trying to do to retain the women vote. And she said, oh, well, you know, they said, well, would the way the economy is going and things are going, is that going to affect their vote? And that's when she threw out this fantastic one-liner that, oh, women don't care about that kind of stuff. We don't care about a record. So it was extremely, like, when I heard that, I was like a shark in the water and there was blood. So that's how I felt. Because, I mean, people have got to pounce on this, and I haven't really seen it put out there very much either.
No, that's one of the... I want to get into why you feel this way, why you feel it's a larger problem than just the idiocy coming out of Cutter's mouth. But I have to ask you, we have been consistently seeing polls minimally since the beginning of the Republican debates that tell us that the Republican candidate, whoever it was, and especially Romney, is going to have trouble with women. That the problem in the Obama campaign will never be women, yet underlying is what you're talking about, the kind of a dismissal. Why are they seemingly punting like they're dumbing down the upcoming debate? Why are they punting on women? Are they getting data that we don't know about?
I think that they're creating data. You know, they're behaving more like scientists than how news reporters should be. They come up with a thesis. Their thesis is, you know what, it would be great if it looked like Obama had taken the women's vote.
Right. So
let's create scenarios, let's create polling, let's create questions that will then make that believable. So, you know, the problem is I don't just talk to conservative women. I fly back and forth across the country, and I always talk to the person next to me, and 50% of the time it's a woman. And I am finding it very difficult to find people who are big fans of Obama, especially women, because we've been hurt more than anybody else in this economy, in any other demographic.
Why do you say that?
Well, first of all, if you look at the U.S. Department of Labor, I did a little bit of research, which is not my forte, but I did. And I went to the U.S. Department of Labor, and it showed that of every demographic, women suffered most. Our unemployment rate has more than doubled in the last 4 years with Barack Obama.
Wow.
For women. This is where women, this is his time to show women that we get to be the ones that get all the jobs. We get to be the forefront. And yet, women have 50% less jobs than they did before.
Yeah, that speaks to a larger problem as well. The ongoing, well, I guess as long as human history, this problem
right.
Of women employment. But continue with that line on that. How else have you been hurt?
Well, I personally have been hurt. Every morning I've got to drive my son to school, and I got to pick him up, and I've got to run the errands, and I've got to do this, and I use my car constantly. I actually believe women of America use cars more than men, if you go outside of the business realm with trucking and such.
Yes.
But we drive around more than anybody else, and my gas has doubled. And it's almost as if it was Barack Obama's plan to raise our gas prices just so that they can take a greater percent of taxes. Because the higher we pay, they take a percentage of that in taxes.
As a matter of fact, it's funny. I don't know if you saw the CNBC article last week. It's no fun reading CNBC, but sometimes you have to. That the consumer spending index went up a little last month. And okay, it wasn't massive like it used to be, but it was a little something. And if you really have an open mind, you're going, okay, that's good for the country. That's cool. Then you find out it's almost entirely tied to higher gas prices. That's what they're crowing about, with the consumer spending going up a little. So you're right. Obviously, you're spending more on that.
I mean, the average was about $1.86 4 years ago. I know that seems strange.
No, it was $1.86 on Inauguration Day.
It took me less than $20 to fill my little car's tank, and now it's taking me $45 to $50 to fill my tank.
And I'm jealous of you because I just spent $66.
Well, I have a Ford Focus. So.
Good for you. We are talking with. We're talking with Tiffiny. Am I saying it right? Ruegner.
Ruegner. You said it right. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Talking with Tiffiny Ruegner, and if you are looking her up, it's spelled Ruegner on KMJ. The article is "Women Are Not Pawns," and it's pretty easy to find. I love what you wrote here. Women are individuals. Many of us find Sandra Fluke, whatever it is, version of victimhood offensive and embarrassing. We're done being patronized. We don't like other women thinking for us any more than we like men thinking for us.
Right.
How do you see that happening for you? Is it just the words of Cutter, or are you seeing more?
Well, I think that the thing is this is a Democrat strategy. This isn't just a Sandra Fluke who's going out there and saying, well, contraceptives is our issue. It's the Democrat strategy is to put a smokescreen over the real issue that women face, which is the economy. I mean, that hits our families more. Women care about their family, don't care about any stinking contraceptives that you can get at the corner store, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it puts a smokescreen so that we all of a sudden, we get riled up and we say, oh my gosh, well, my goodness, my rights are being taken away. But the problem is this entire strategy is created by men. Men are trying to lead us to believe that contraception and abortion and women's rights are a real issue. But do you know what a woman's right is? A woman's right is the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry. Excuse me?
Yes, sir.
That Constitution was written entirely by men, I hope you know. Abigail Adams notwithstanding.
Men who had women who were supporting them and most likely voluntolding them how to write it. You know what I'm saying?
Voluntolding. I'm flat stealing that one.
Oh, there you go.
That's going to be in my lexicon.
Yeah, but life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, it doesn't say anywhere in there that you will be given. The word pursuit is an action word where you go after something. You don't sit there and wait for it to come to you. You don't sit there and wait for contraceptives to come to you. You go out, you get a job, you make money, you go buy your own contraceptives. And so it's all about what women's rights are. It's based on the hard work that we put in and based on our good choices. And that's it. And then with that, they're truly in this country. I've lived outside of the country, and I will tell you, we do not have glass ceilings like the left wants everybody to believe. The whole purpose of creating this divisive messaging that women are being held back, or any demographic is being held back.
It's the easiest. Yes, excuse me. I'm sorry, Tiffany. I interrupted. Excuse me. But it is of all of the ways to divide and conquer. It's likely the first, because it's the first that comes to mind, but it is also the easiest for the attacker to do, is to first divide the genders, because we're constantly fighting each other anyway on issues. So why not just cleave that nice and cleanly for us? And now here's two separate groups. They want everything. Here's us men. They want everything. And in fact, boy, you stated it beautifully. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for you. Yeah, I got to ask you, before we talk about the Women Warrior Pack.
Yes, sir.
This is my interpretation. Correct me if you think I'm wrong, please. But if you look to women in politics and the three most powerful female politicians right now, at least in terms of perception, it's got to be Michelle Bachmann, and she's got her own baggage. Okay, she turns some people off. You have got Hillary Clinton and she's an amazing woman, whether you agree with her politics or not. Yet, but Hillary's an odd cat. I don't liken her to anybody else. She puts up with strange things that no other woman would put up with for a greater goal that only she sees. She's very accomplished, but I don't know if she's representative to women any longer. And Sarah Palin, yet, even though she's not really in politics and holds no office. Is that the kind of representation of all three of them that you're looking for? And am I right about them being the leading icons, if not the leaders?
You know what, I would say, and I think you should be fair, because you just put up two really, hot conservatives.
Yes.
You have to put up, to be fair, you got to have two liberals and two conservatives. So let's say Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Yes. Yes, Tiffiny Ruegner, let's play fair.
Yes, I am completely about playing fair.
Yeah, this is like there's one kid left on the dodgeball pick list. It's Debbie